Hello, hello, hello. Give me a second. It's been there we go. We'll put that one there. We'll put that one there. We'll put that one there. I have too many windows. The camera's in the wrong direction. I've been in Norway at NDC Oslo for the last week. That's a little. That. There we go. We can move that back to there. That's nice. Yeah, I've been shifting brains. I've been in Norway for a week. I had 2 days in a cabin in the mountains, just chilling and rehearsing songs with my band and eating barbecue and drinking whiskey, and that was very fun. And then I had 2 days of teaching workshops, which is a very different set of brain from sitting in a cabin in the mountains drinking whiskey. And then we went from teaching workshops to recording music videos, like literally in an hour. Like at 4:30 on Tuesday, I was with a group of students showing them how to do web components and Blazor and Razor components, all that kind of stuff. And by like 5:30, we were in a cab on our way to a video studio with a bunch of instruments. And then yeah, Wednesday was conference day and talks and just and yeah, I got back on Sunday and sat down on Monday to do some coding, and I was like, my brain doesn't work. And it's funny, the context switch. It's I think I have a horrible feeling this is aging. This is losing neuroplasticity as you get older, or whatever the technical term is. I used to be able to, do a big week like that, sit down, get back on Sunday night, sit down on Monday, and by Monday afternoon be like, yep, all right, let's do some stuff. And it literally took me like most of Monday just to kind of remember how typing works and stuff. Anyway, yeah, so not going to be a huge stream tonight. Just a couple of little bits and pieces, but I thought it would be fun to just sort of start warming up the old Rockstar brain cells, because I got stuff to do, and there is a nominal deadline attached to all of this. And yeah, it's still, I still want to do all the things. I want to get all the things that I've talked about working, and some point soon, gonna have to push all this stuff up and figure out how do I get it on like Aptitude, and how do I get it on Winget, and how do I get it on Homebrew so that you can actually install stuff, and bake an actual website into the front end for this whole thing and figure out how that stuff works. But let's see, where do we get to? Now, yeah, bear in mind it's been probably 2 weeks since I looked at any of this, and a lot of stuff has happened in that 2 weeks. So this is me sort of gently waking up bits of my brain that had would have been fine with this a couple of weeks back. Yeah, so we got, I think if I check out the Git repo for this, which will just show me what I was doing last time we were here. All right, so the last thing I did, which was on the 31st of May, no, the 1st of June. So yeah, 18 days. Was booleans and assignment are working. So that was binaries, operator equality for those, not equal to. Yeah, that's cool. And really what we've been doing is just kind of going through all of these test cases from Rockstar 1.0 and trying to plug in kind of enough context or enough code to get them passing, so that when it comes to breaking changes, I have a pretty solid idea of these things worked and these things didn't work, and I got to switch this and that and all that kind of stuff. So I guess let me take a look. What's still failing? Let me switch off passing tests here. So this is nCrunch. Those of you folks who've joined the stream before will know that nCrunch is one of my favorite things in the entire universe. It's a continuous test runner, so it just sits there and runs all your tests all the time. And I have hacked the output from Rockstar's test fixture so that it will actually give me links into Rockstar files that'll show me where the problem happened. So what do we got? Arrays do not exist yet, so we can ignore all of those. Assignments. Alright, so we've got... okay, I think maybe poetic literals would be a fun thing to look at today. So poetic literals is one of the things that makes Rockstar kind of unique. They are a way of initializing variables using strings. But the way it works is that you give it strings, and the strings get parsed, and each word of the string is, like, it counts the number of letters in each word. That's turned into a decimal digit, so it gives you a way of initializing without using any numeric literals. So if you need to initialize the value 1337, you can go in here and say the hacker was a, so we need a three-letter word, a big bad monster. There we go. So that, and because the length of the word a is 1, and the length of big is 3, and that's a 3, and that's a 7, so that gives you a 1337. All right, so what I want to do here is let's have a look at poeticliterals.rock.out, which is here. And this should, now this test fixture is, all right, I'm not going to fix it. There's some stuff, one of the things that I've realized going through this whole kind of trying to port the existing specification to a different platform, porting the whole thing from JavaScript to .NET, is that a lot of the test fixtures, they actually test a bunch of things. Like, it's a bit scattergun. Like this thing, it's called poeticliterals.rock, but it actually tests a lot of different things, which are not in fact poetic literals. Let me see. So poeticnumbers.rock. That's all right. So this is a better one to start with, maybe. So yeah, Tommy was a love-struck lady killer. That's the idiomatic. How do you initialize a variable to 100? So let me plug in a couple of things here. So what I got with these, one is we got a new test format. So let me open up poeticnumbers.rock and .rock.out. Okay, so I'm going to plug in here and expect 100, and in this thing expect, and that'll be 16, and expect is going to be, now these things here, one of the frustrations I had with the way the test fixtures here are implemented is that this thing needed to put a /n at the end of everything. And that got a little tedious. Now, one of the things I also want to be able to do is when I create the website, which is going to host all this stuff, there will be examples which will be unit tested. So when you do a build of the website, it'll actually validate that every example in the docs is valid, and it works, and it runs. And that means that I probably want a slightly better syntax for doing this. So what I'm going to do is let me take a look at the fixtures.cs over here, because I can maybe, there's a method in here, extract expects, and I wonder if I can set up a thing here. So tokens equals that split on expect, and what I'm wondering if I can do is to capture prints. So we got this, like, just as an alias here, so that expect 100, but it would make more sense if I just said that should prints 100, because that's the kind of thing that would make sense when you plug it into plug it into interactive documentation. So that's a thing we can do. And hang on a second, I just need to talk to the real world just for one moment here. I should have adverts for this. That's what I should do. So I'm going to have prints 100, and if I could have prints 16, and I think they're prints, so I can put a thing in here. So how do I modify that extract expectations method to yeah, this was a very kind of rudimentary parser that basically just splits it on certain kinds of tokens, and so pulls that out, splits it on expect, pulls out all of those things, and then reg.unescapes with them with those. And let me wrap some testing around this new fixture. So what I'm going to do, I got this extract expects here. Let me find usages of that. I don't think there's a another reference to that anywhere, because I don't think, yeah, that's extract expects, that's that, extract expects, extract. Okay, so I'm going to, oh no, cool. All right, I did have one. All right, I've already got tests for my tests. That's the test case test. Of course it is. That makes sense. Void expectation extractor extracts. A day behind on YouTube, so I watched your Monday video yesterday. Nice Guns N' Roses. So today I'm wearing metadata. There you go. I got this whole load of logos. I do the artwork in Illustrator and then make little stickers and stuff with it that I give out at conferences. And I decided I was going to start getting shirts printed with them. So not for sale yet, because I don't want to get sued. But you never know. There might be a solution to that out there somewhere. Okay, expectation extracts print. So what I want to do is I want to do that, and I want to say prints hello. And that should extract 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 / n, and yeah, all right. And then let's just throw in one that tests both scenarios there, and then I can work backwards into that. So now that's there. Expectation extractor extracts expect and prints. And let's drop that in here. So we've got a shout hello world. Prints 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and prints 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. Okay, cool, easy. I got tests. Now how do I make it work? Cool. All right, so those are the failing tests. That's fine. I don't think I can do this with a split anymore. All right. So very, very dumb scanner thing here. What we're going to do is for var I equals naught, I is less than file path or source code dot length I plus plus. Now there's a couple of ways that we could do this. One is there's a way which is quite kind of algorithmically elegant, but the performance absolutely sucks, which is you take a string and you just keep chopping the head off so that its string just gets shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter till it's the empty string. But then you've got to reallocate strings every time you do this. So it's easier to leave the string where it is and just move a pointer along it. So I'm going to say for var equals that, and then I'm going to say if file path or source code, that's going to become a very tedious we'll do that, because at that point it's definitely source code that we're scanning. And then we're going to say if source equals, yeah, so that's blocked, source equals that. So if source dot substring, and we want to start at I, and we want to read 6, and we want to read 8, and I want to remember what happens if you pull substring out of a substring that doesn't have enough substring to put that substring in it. So let's go to sharplab.io, and and abcd dot substring 1 5. This is going to throw an index out of range exception. No, it's not. Awesome. Okay, cool. I like that. So, source.substring i8 case expect. Actually, we can do that on 9. So if that's that, then so we need to build some kind of an accumulator here that I can shovel things into as this is going along. So yeah, that's cool. And so if we find an expect, then at that point we want bounce I forward to the end of that string, which I think is I plus equals 9. And then while source at I is not equal to close bracket, I plus plus, then output dot, Hello, Origami Marie, welcome to the stream. Big fan of line breakers. I don't think it's parody. Any international viewers probably won't get this. I'm a big fan of the Bar Steward Sons of Valdunican. You know when someone puts something in and you're like, the Bar Steward Sons of Valdunican. I gotta look this up. Yorkshire's hardest working comedy band. Oh, this looks great. Video, we gotta check out some of this. This will probably get the stream blocked, but never mind. Let's see what we can see. I don't know. Do you folks get audio output capture? You should do. Let me unmute that.
Okay. So, even like ladies and gents, get your groove on for the mighty. And we played about a Northern's brother to 10 calls too. We often call.
Cool. All right, we like that. Oh, look at that. Now I've got an argument out of range exception. You know, a second ago I checked this to see whether it was going to blow up or not. And I was like, oh, great, it's not going to blow up. Well, now it's blowing up. All right. So now we're going to do a I is less than source.length. As one of those things, like, I know exactly what we got to do. I know we got to scan through the string and look for this and look for that and pull this out and pull that out and stick that in there. But getting the exact arithmetic right on it is going to be var limit equals source.length minus 9, because we don't want to calculate that every time. Hello, infra red 2. 1, 4, 3. Yeah, nice. Welcome. How's it going? So I is not as limit I plus 9. If switch source substring is that, case expect. Bump I forward by 9 to the end of that. And while source I is less than that, so that needs to be while I is less than limit and source I is not equal to that, I plus plus. But I need to remember where I found the beginning of it. So case expect, if we hit that var j equals I plus 9. Yeah, that's cool. All right, and then while j is less than the limit and source j is less than that, j plus plus, so we find that, and then we are going to output dot add source dot substring ij. set I equals J and break out of that. And I think I can do a fall through thing here. Case expect, case print, so that'll do the same thing. I wonder if I can just unambiguously pick up the... Yeah, all right. So that'll build me this list of tokens, which I think I now want to go in. A lot of soldering. Nice to be huffing flux fumes with some company. So soldering is one of those things that I like. I learned to solder when I was, I don't know, 11 years old, and the significance of a good soldering iron was. Oh, chat should be on screen. Why is chat not on screen? It totally was. That's weird. Restream was broken. Let me see. So this is the thing. I probably shouldn't have put that there. Some of you might have got a token on that. That's all right. I will. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. Let me see why this is not working. I haven't logged in for like 3 weeks, and when I opened up Restream earlier, I had to click all the pictures of a fire hydrant. Okay. How interesting. I'm going to switch to a different screen and then switch back, and that didn't come back, and there's that, and that doesn't work. Yeah, soon there will be AI that can recognize a fire hydrant, and when that happens, it's absolutely game over for social media, because they can no longer guarantee that the attention they're selling to their advertisers is human. And at that point, their entire business model disappears down a river of shit. But that's all right. I'll be here for it. We can go back to IRC. You knew where you stood with IRC. All right. We're going to have a spirited attempt here to get the the Restream browser chat working. There it is. Look at that. Is that working? Somebody, let's try this. Hello. It works. Marvelous. There you go. We got chat. The Twitchers can talk to the YouTubers, and the YouTubers can talk to the Twitchers, and nobody can talk to the people on Facebook, because I'm not streaming on Facebook anymore. Anyway, all right. Where were we? We're building a little parser inside the test fixtures for the test suite for the big parser is what we're doing right now. Case expects, case prints, j equals I plus 9, j limit source and that, and then we get to the end of that, and I'm going to return output is what I'm going to do, and we're going to return string.join output. So when I first started playing around with stream, so I use a thing called Restream, and you just give it accounts, and it sends stuff there, and it works. And I know quite a lot of sort of very, very code type focused people on Facebook. There. Move that. But everyone I know who might watch code streaming on Facebook would rather watch it on YouTube or Twitch. It's not that they're not there, it's that you know, they're connoisseurs of internet. Yeah, return string.join blank output, except at that point output is going to be empty, so we can return string.empty, and that means that we can move that down to there, and that's to there, and that's to there. And now we can see, do our expectation matches work? No, they do not. Okay, so substring in .NET. What is the second argument? It is the length, and that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is the correct length. So that should be working, and it's not, because why is it not working? Probably because computers are stupid. So let's try. That logic is wrong. So if the file exists, return file.read all text from it. Oh no, that's the .out file, isn't it? Yeah, if file exists .out, return all the file from there .out. Yeah, that's fine. If the oh yeah, this was that weird thing. So the way that I engineered this, and engineered there, the word is doing a lot of work, is that you give it a string, and yeah, you give it a string, and if the string is a file, it reads it. So we're going to do this. Okay, cool. That is an actual bug that I was expecting. Index and length must refer to a parameter within the string. Okay, that's cute. So j equals I plus 9, and while j is less than the limit and the source at j is not equal to that, j plus plus, so that increments j every time, which is cool. Then output.add source.substring, so that's the line that's glitching. So let's stick a debugger on that line there. Debug selected test, see if we can figure out why it's not working. So what do we got? We got source is shout hello, expect hello, substring I there is 14. So let's jump on that, and that works. So output now includes interesting, that includes completely the wrong thing. It's because the start index there so we need to bump I up, then we say that equals that, run that through. Yep, that's fine, off you go, we're good. No, that's all right, thank you. Yes, stop debugging. Cool. Hello world, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And okay, that's good. Should be okay. So this is weird. You see, we got hello world, and it's saying hello world, but was hello/n world/n. I wonder if that's a literal. Yeah. So one of the nice things about nCrunch here is I can see it's actually saying, hey, I was looking for hello and then a new line character, but what I got at was a hello and then a backslash character and then a new line character as actual characters. Which is curious. Yeah, yeah. I mean, it would help if the tests weren't just awful. That would be a good place to start. Yep. All right, so that's pulling out almost the right stuff now. Should be hello world, but is hello world, hello 1, 2, 3, 4, was hello 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should be hello world, that, hello n world / that. So I need to figure out the string literals in here, because that should be pulling out /n there as a literal new line. Let's try this. So if I take output and output.add that plus that, so now it's pulling in the /n, which is why the original one had a regex.unescape baked into it, which I think I just took out, but maybe should have left back in. Test case test was fine, so fixtures.cs. Yeah, regex.unescape will turn literal /n back into ordinary /n. Okay, so that's cool. So let's put a little bit of logic in here. Var expect equals source.substring that. Now I want to regex.unescape that. And then if expect dot ends with that, stick that on the end. Yep. Okay. All right. So now the parser thing is working, but now I'm getting gibberish coming out of here. Cool. Almost. Okay, that's weird. Why? How? So that works. The expectation extractor works now because it's pulling out source.substring I, dropping it back to 9. We got the expect, that's fine. But why now is that thing blowing up and saying, right, let me stick a debugger on that line there. Right click that, debug test, see if I can figure out why that one's not working. Okay, so source there is a thing. Yeah. That should have brought up a text visualizer. I can't see one. That's interesting. Oh, it's down here. All right, source there, view text visualizer there. Somehow that got docked. That should not be docked. No, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. You can float. Float like a butterfly. There you go. All right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, 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 okay. Now this thing is saying that eventually it's blown up because that's... All right, so I is now 253. Source is that. Source.length is 255. It's that limit in there. So there's a point where we don't want to look ahead, but then once we... Hey Carl, welcome to the stream, dude. How you doing? So that, yeah, there's a point on here when Rockstar 2 is going great. Rockstar 2 is going to be special. Rockstar 2 is currently a vast to-do list and a lot of good ideas. Yeah, so this J here, we don't want to bail out on the adjusted limit for that. So this thing here, source.substring, what I really want is a version of substring that doesn't blow up. Which I guess I could write, like just stick it as an extension method on string. But yeah, all right. That we can, let's shut that down. Let's shut that down. There we go. Yeah, I think an extension method actually works quite nicely here. So what does substring doc say substring does? I can't get that up because I'm in a debugger. All right, let's find it now. Retrieves a substring. So what do we got here? We got var I equals math.min of index and s.length, and var l equals math.min of s.length minus I, or now let's do it a slightly more obvious way. If index is greater than s.length, if length is greater, if index plus length is greater than or equal to s.length, then we cut that back to length equals s.length minus index. Return s.substring index length. I think we'll do what we need, and then up here we can say source.safe substring, and sure enough we now have tests failing, but we don't have anything in here throwing exceptions, which is probably pretty good. Right, let's clean a bunch of this stuff up. Move files to matching types in project. Okay. I think I've written a safe substring about a bazillion times in the last decade or so. Yeah, it's just one of those things where you, like, I've never ever wanted a substring that throws an exception if it's not there. I'm like, just give me as much as you can and keep on trucking. Like, don't make, like, by the time I've checked the length and I've checked that, I could have done my own substring. Like, at that point, it's just a useless method that is like, well, now you've done all the hard work for you. Yeah, I can return the string for you. And I'm like, well, thanks for helping. Not. All right. Let's commit that lot, because this seems like a good point. I'm on the TV. Any chance of a font size increase? Yeah, I can do that. Give me a second. There you go. We'll whack that up. And so stage all changes. Close out of that. We've got that. Looks good. Yes, we like that. Yeah, interesting. Okay, that's just fixed a Unicode thing. That's still work in progress. We'll come back to that. Okay, so poeticnumbers.rock we're still working on. Test case test we'll keep. String extensions we'll keep. Add better extraction for expect prints in tests. That'll do. Boom. All right. So poetic numbers. Let's whack that up a little bit. There we go. Television size. It kind of freaks me out that there are people out there sitting in their living rooms watching TV and like I'm the late night entertainment. At least I'm assuming late night. I don't know. Maybe you're in New Zealand. Maybe I'm like your Thursday morning entertainment. I have no idea. All right. So we were looking at poeticnumbers.rock, and first of all, Prince 100, Prince 16, Whisperer Killer, Prince. So that's on the loose is going to be 234. Shout My Dreams, Prince 3.14159.26535. Say Lucy's a Danger to Society, Prince 162 627. Say my number is a 57 plus true 43. What did that do? That prints 14. Yeah. Alright, that's what it does. I probably shouldn't do that, but that's what it does. The streets are lonely. Say the streets should print 6. Right, so we got, there we go. So fixtures are in. So now poetic numbers.rock.out. We can delete. Which is in here, and this is in fixtures literals. Poetic numbers.rock.out. That can go. We use the new syntax for this one here. Okay, so let's find the test. Well, let's see if the code builds first. Semi-passive content. Yeah, I get that. There's something. I've just been at a NDC Oslo massive conference where you're just talking to people the whole time. Like, that's the reason people are there. Everyone wants to talk, and you get to a point where you're like, I'd really like it for a little bit if someone else was talking and I wasn't expected to reply or contribute. I could just chill out. And I have very occasionally, when I've been doing, you know, like big conference trips where I'm away for 2 or 3 weeks, I'll get to a day where I'm like, I'm going to go to a movie. I'm going to go and I'm going to sit in a cinema and I'm just going to watch other people talk for 3 hours with absolutely no possibility that they're going to ask me at any point what I think or what I'm working on or anything like that. Just because, you know, you want to decompress a little bit. Okay, so we were looking at fixtures, literals, poetic numbers. Tommy was a love-struck lady killer. The error is here. Program error, line 1, col 1. Alright. So, this means we need to go to rockstar.peg and we need the was and is for poetic literals. And this, I think, is one of those weird error messages where the error here says that it's occurring at line 1, column 1, but actually the error is occurring because it can't find any way of getting from there to a like complete parsable input. And so it's saying, look, I started at the beginning, I tried everything I could think of, I couldn't make any sense, and so I just kind of gave up at the beginning. Like, that didn't lead anywhere good. So the problem clearly is from where we started. And so what I need to do here is plug in the syntax for a poetic literal into an assignment. And so a program is, yep, that's fine. Assignment is a variable assign expression. That's cool. So an expression here can be a unary or a variable. A unary can be an or can be an and can be an equals can be a not can be a compare can be a math. Fun and games. Yep. Yeah. A primary can be a literal or a lookup, and a literal can be a constant or a number or a string. And so at this point, okay, so a constant has to be true, false, or null. That's good. A number has to be digits. That's fine. A string has to start with a quote. So I think I can do that. Yeah, so Carl says, you know, if I'm not having to think too much, I like a stream when I'm working. When I'm you know, just doing admin and writing docs and stuff, I'll often have a stream up and running on one of my screens here. Because, yeah, it's just like they're doing their thing, I'm doing my thing, and it's... okay, so the problem here, then, is that there are lots of places in Rockstar where you can have a literal which is not a poetic literal. So I actually think the problem here, I need a special case for assignment, just for now. And this is one of the things I'm going to change, because it's stupid, because this was a terrible decision that should never have been a thing. Or we can have a v variable assign. What was underscore assign? I think I'm going to get rid of assign. I think I've only got it in 2 places, and it's declaration, and its declaration is the air, so that can come out. So now assign doesn't exist anymore. So now an assign statement becomes underscore is, and that becomes underscore is, then any amount of white space, and then P is a poetic literal here. And this becomes a new assignment v p state.source. All right. So now what's a poetic literal? Yields an expression. Now this is the bit that gets a little bit interesting, because a poetic literal is literally any number of words so I'm just thinking what a good syntax to capture this is. So this is going to be digits. I'll crib from that. So then words is literally any number of, now the thing, the way this is defined, it ignores punctuation, it ignores digits, it ignores numbers, it ignores anything except periods, because periods count as dots, so you can do 3.14159. So then a poetic literal is either a do I have a /W in here? Do I have like a word character? I should do. It's an expression grammar. Yeah. Okay, let's break it down a step further. So it's got to be a sequence of digits. So poetic literal is either a poetic digit followed by any number of spaces followed by poetic digit star. So a poetic digit is a it's a word. It's just literally a yeah. But what's the return type? That's the weird thing. Yep. 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 Okay. That'll work. I got a letter in here already. Yeah. Okay. So we can use letter. I told you we were rusty. This is what happens when you don't look at the code for 3 weeks. So poetic digit is one or more letters. And then a poetic literal is one of those. And it returns a poetic digit star. And you see the way number parsing is working. Actually, I'll tell you what, a real easy way into this, an easy way to get just to the next step and see if this thing is going to work, is to say that a poetic digit, so I'll scrub that for now. That doesn't count. And I'm going to say that a poetic literal is literally a love-struck lady killer, because that's the test case we got just over here in what Tommy was. And we'll say if we find one of those, we'll return a new number. 100. Okay, and interestingly, that hasn't moved the error. So Tommy was a love-struck lady killer. That's not kicking in. So why not? Check that is supports was. Yep. Was, were, and equal sign is sign was, were, are. Yep, that's fine. Followed by not a letter. Yep, that's cool. Mm-hmm. Yep, the rule poetic literal is never used. That works, that compiles. Tommy was a love-struck lady killer. The error is here. At poeticnumbers.rock, line 1. Alright. What if I chop out the whole rest of this program? Still nothing. Okay, interesting. Why? Does that operator precedence need to be higher? Ooh, Let me look at one we prepared earlier. Yep. Statement is yep, that's fine. Continue, that's noise, that's a program, that's fine. Expression list, somewhere in here there is an assignment statement. There, assignment equals target, assignable is, and then E is a literal or a poetic number. Okay, that's interesting. Yes. So Rockstar 1.0, there's a quirk. You cannot write things like, spin up a text file for this. So you can say Tommy was true, because that's a literal. And you can say Tommy was a love-struck lady killer, and that's a poetic literal. And you can say Tommy was, but if you say something like Tommy was the night with the dawn, that's not going to be an expression, because in Rockstar 1.0 you could not use that syntax to initialize things to expressions like equations and all that kind of things. You had to put the night with the dawn into Tommy, and that's going to be a break and change, because what I'm going to do in Rockstar 2 is I'm going to use the keyword like. So anywhere that you see like a big bad monster, that whole value there will always be 1337, because like is going to be the keyword that triggers the infrared 2's ordered the wrong capacitor and the wrong resistor, or rather ordered the capacitor with the right resistance and the resistor with the right capacitance. Yeah. I mean, they're so tiny. And you know, is that, you probably know this, is there like a phone app now that you can just point at the resistors on your desk and it'll read them and tell you what the resistance and the tolerance of each one is? Because if there isn't, somebody should totally invent that, because that would be an epically good thing to have. Yes. Okay. The wrong sizes, not values. Is that, are we talking like what the distance between the legs or something? Or like I literally have no idea. I know about capacitance and resistance, but I didn't know that every piece of electronics I've ever done consisted of buying things in whatever size they were available and figuring out how to make them fit. But I've never done like, you know, PCB fabrication or anything like that. So what do we got here? We got variable is okay, yeah. So don't do this in 2.0. Can you read the colors infrared? Can you glance at a resistor and know exactly what the resistance is? Because I could sort of do that with a bit of help. A quick Play Store check reveals that yes, there are resistor scanners. And a paper card with turntable wheels to decode, returnable wheels to decode the colors. Okay, so there's going to be a 2.0 change, but that's fine. So we got variable is, and then here we've got E is going to be a... to do reinstate for 2.0. There we go. So that's out, but I'll leave it in there. So now we've got variable is, so we can assign to literals, but not to surface mount. that like tiny, like you surface mount soldering by hand, because that's some like seriously gnarly stuff. Let me just split this out so it's a little easier to see on the televisions of the folks tuning in from home. And all right, so variable is a literal. And now literal, where is literal in here? So a literal can be a constant number, a string, or a poetic yeah. 1.6 mils long or 0.85 mils wide. That is incredibly tiny. Like this, but we need a banana for scale. Like how actually tiny? That's 0603. Oh, those one, yeah. Oh, yeah. That's very small. I'm impressed. Right. So we got a primary expression as a literal lookup. That's a lookup, a poetic literal. So this I'm going to chop out. Constant number string or a poetic literal. A poetic number, actually. And then this is where we get to the fun part, is then a poetic number expression is equal to a words which are letter plus followed by any number of spaces followed by letter plus plus. And if we get one of those out of it, we want to return a new number, I guess. And this is where it gets a little bit interesting. Let's return a new... Let me grab a string out of this, actually. Or a string, because Rockstar. And see what we get out the other side of that. So rebuild that. That's going to work. Unterminated code section. That shouldn't be new. That should just be new. That's fine. All right. Cool. So that almost works. So a poetic number is either one of those. That's got us as far as my dreams were ISA life unfulfilled, because that's got a decimal point in it. So that means a poetic number, it needs to be one of those followed by a literal dot. Followed by a poetic number. Or just that. Uh, 3.1415. So yeah, this is the point where the parser needs to filter out semicolons and apostrophes and all that kind of stuff. Which is another thing that I will do differently in the future. So let's say that that can be literally, I mean, can I put anything like just a /W? Will that work? So when the test doesn't respond within like a couple of seconds, why letter and not digit? A poetic number is a number made up of words, and you count the lengths of the words, and that gives you the values of the decimal digits. This is one of Rockstar's idiosyncrasies. Okay, so we got an unexpected character there. That's weird. Mm-hmm. All right, so that builds. And that builds. And that doesn't. All right. I don't think I can do that. Okay, so let's try the thing that I was going to, which is that the thing between those can either be one of those, or it needs to be a literal colon, semicolon, apostrophe, semicolon, which I think is all that's used in the test suite. Yep. And that needs to become one of those. Build that. Exactly, James. So he said, she said would become 2434. This is designed as a way to let you put numeric literals in code without the sort of overhead of having to put digits in, because digits aren't very singable, but also it means if you can come up with words that are the right length, you can write programs that actually rhyme, because that gives you the flexibility to choose how your lines end. And so you can actually create some pretty plausible, like, rock and roll lyric, actually almost any style of lyrical stuff. Okay, that's interesting. It's good. It's interesting, but it's weird. Um, no, it's good. It's fine. Um, so that's saying cannot implicitly convert iParse result of string to a generic iList of string, because the rule we've just hit shouldn't be picking that up like that. So what I'm looking for here is the exact grammar syntax. Let me take a look at how poetic numbers were defined in Satriani. Okay. There's a thing called a poetic digit separator. I made that explicit. So, wow. So this entire chunk of stuff here is how the JavaScript implementation handled poetic literals. Seems like a nightmare for maintenance. Everything here is a nightmare for maintenance. This is not about low maintenance. This is high maintenance. Rockstar is the kind of language that if you can't handle it at its worst, you don't deserve it at its best. And that's entirely on people who choose to use it for anything other than comedy purposes. Okay, I know how this works. I hate it. But let's copy this across and then see if we can simplify the thing once we got it in. So this is poetic number. I'm going to chop that whole lot out. And now I'm about to paste a block of JavaScript-based parsing expression code into a .NET program. Now the parsing expression grammar is consistent. So this is a digit separator followed by digits, followed by digit separator, followed by a poetic decimal, followed by digit separator, followed by 0 or more digit separators. And that thing there is going to... Yep. That's a trinary operator. That's what that is. And it's JavaScript. Yay. Oh, right. Okay. I think what I have done here is solved the problem in a very, very horrible way. Well, let's work it back up. So a poetic digit in here is A to Z, a literal minus or an apostrophe. So if I do that, that'll pull it out and parse it back in a .NET format. And this takes the length of that string, filters out the apostrophe, and modulo 10 into a digit, but then it sends a digit back into a string again. Oh. Okay. So this is going to be t.replace .length mod 10. I'm going to call that word because word is a better thing for it. Word, token, lexeme. Lexeme's probably a better thing for it. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That didn't work, but I wasn't expecting it to. So we find a poetic digit, that's a lexeme, which is A to Z hyphens, or the apostrophe. We replace the apostrophe with nothing, take the length of that string modulo 10, and then express that digit, that number, the length, integer, as a string. So then up here, we should be able to glue those together. So this is going to return a string. That's going to return a string. That should be good as is. That should be good. As is. That's fine. Correct. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious will be 4 and not 34. The reason for the modulo behavior is so that if you need the digits 0, 1, or 2, instead of, because you can't have a 0-letter word, right? So you have to have a 10-letter word. Modulo 10 gives you 0. And there's a lot more choice of 11 and 12-letter words than there are 1 and 2-letter words. And so that's why it's the digits modulo 10. So poetic decimal here is going to return a string. Yep, so poetic decimal digits is a string. So that poetic decimal digit separator, yeah, that's fine. I made poor choices when I built this part of the syntax, but you know what? We'll figure it out. So we're going to return... Okay, so poetic number here. This is going to return a... Let me just see if I can extract the syntax first. Actually, no, this should work. This should be able to return... That's a separator followed by digits, followed by a separator, followed optionally by that. And this is going to return a... So let's just try that to start with, see if I can get that to build. Invalid type definition. Where? Rockstar.pegline 169. Okay, that's just a typo, that's missed. Okay, interesting. Cannot convert parse result string to ilist of string, which probably means I got something in here somewhere. I'm going to park this until the next stream, I think, folks. It's midnight, and I can't see myself getting any better at untangling a 5-year-old JavaScript implementation of parsing expression grammar and plugging it into .NET as the evening progresses, no matter how many of these delicious little Pingvin salt licorice pastels I eat. Yeah, we're going to come back to this. I know how it works. The slight difficulty, the thing that makes Pegasus in .NET just a little bit more difficult, more complex to work with than the Peg.js that I used in the JavaScript one, is Peg.js came with some really excellent browser-based tooling that would show you, like, you would try to compile your grammar, and it would be like, hey, your grammar did this, and then your program did that, and then this is where it didn't work. And with Pegasus, it's just a little bit more complicated to figure out exactly where, you know, the problem I've got is error is here in Rockstar code, and then down here we've got argument 1 cannot convert from string to decimal. I'll try one thing before I knock it on the head. Yeah. That's enough for tonight, folks. There will be more. I'll be back. Thanks for tuning in, gang. Nice to see you all. It's been a while, but I'm basically that's it. I'm off the road now from now until August, and in August this thing is real and goes live and actually happens. So I got stuff to do between now and then. Take it easy, folks. If it's late where you are, sleep well. If it's early where you are, have a lovely day.